Here we go. TK and Drinks. Welcome back to What's the Story with Colt Mead. Transferred over here. Hopefully y'all are keeping up with what's going on. Having some technical difficulties. This might not even go through. This might be a whole ghost thing and this live video ends up just being a bunk. But I apologize if that's the case, and I'll probably do my best to not... Oh wait, hold we go. Holy crap, here we go. Request to join. Colt, see, there we go. Mosquito motherfucker. Let's see. Boom, there it is.
Oh, yay!
Hey.
There we go.
All right, let's see.
Is that gonna work?
It might work. Hold on.
It doesn't work horizontally. Instagram and Facebook.
Son of a
bitch. All right. Well,
They're like the absolute worst. Again, I apologize for all the technical difficulties and everything, but
welcome to the modern era of things.
Technology improving our life ever so slightly, incrementally, if you will. So, this interview has been a couple weeks, months in the making there. I appreciate you guys putting and bearing through with me for all my technical difficulties here, and then, of course, through, again, the past couple weeks and months.
It's all good. We've been busy as hell this past summer.
Yes.
Hey, that's good, though. I mean, I was up there in June, and at the concert, it seemed to be off and popping then, and even through the whole COVID and everything. That's, again, kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, from experiencing your guys' kick-ass venue and meadery up there. Before we get into all that, let's back it up a little bit and introduce you guys and what's going on. So you guys are Brian and Jen. You guys run Colt Mead up there in Tacoma, Washington, right?
That's it.
Correct.
Yep.
And so go ahead and introduce yourselves a little more than that. Let the people know what's going on and what you guys are about.
Cool. Hi, I'm Jen. I am the merciless overlord of Colt Mead. I manage all of our business end operations, our tap room, our marketing, our distribution, our sales, our staff. I have the garden. I built the stage. I designed a lot of stuff. So that's I'm that. And yep.
Yeah, and take care of drunk people who may or may not be on camera with you currently.
Maybe clean up their big fucking messes that they make, possibly. But it's okay. It's a mead hall. It's supposed to happen. It was fine.
A mess is bound to happen occasionally.
Yeah, especially if you're hanging out with the ilk of what you were hanging out with. So they're trouble.
And so Colt Mead, you guys are more than just a meadery there at Tacoma. You guys are like a metal venue, and you guys have do all sorts of other different types of community involved events. And that's again one of the things that I always admire about meaderies is the different ways that they put their fingers out there and cast like a wide net into the community. Not only to just pull in dollars for themselves, but to try to really expand the betterness of the community.
Yeah, we needed a community space out here for sure, and this kind of fills a little bit of a void. We have a really nice garden too, and it has vegetables and flowers in it. So,
kick-ass. And are you allowed to grow any of the stuff and then put it into your mead, or is there some sort of like TTB law about no, you didn't, commercially buy that and you can't use it?
That's a common question we get, and we just, at the scale that we're at, there's just no feasible way we can use anything that we grow to put in our meads. We're just at too big of a scale for that.
Gotcha. It'd be like experimental or super small batch or something like that.
Really small batches, yeah.
Brian didn't introduce himself. He's kind of important. This is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I'm Brian. I manage all the production aspects of Colt Mead. I make all the mead, come up with the recipes with Jen's help as well. But I manage all the fermentations and everything that's related to production. Anything that you drink from us, I definitely had a hand in making it.
And he cleans a lot. Like he cleans more.
That's 80% of the job.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I've always heard that the vast majority of work at the meadery is doing cleanup. It's 40% making it and 60% cleaning, or even more cleaning.
Easy.
There's always a fermenter to rinse out or something to mop up.
Always, all the time. The floors are always sticky.
See, and that's actually one thing I've heard from mead makers in the past too, is they kind of like nerd out on who's got the best like floor drains. Like, man, I got this kick-ass floor drain because I can just hose it down and not worry about it. And
yeah, no, I'm jealous. We don't have a floor drain. It's a mop. It's all about the mop.
Squeaking a mop.
And honey's an absolute bear to deal with, cleaning it up and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, honey and all the fruit and everything too. It's always sticky.
There's a really particular sound that shoes make when they walk across a honey floor. It's like quack, quack, quack.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure you grow various it's not just any particular stick. It's the honey stick. It's like I know that sound.
Yeah. Yep, it's very particular.
So where did you guys come up with the name Cult Mead?
Well, basically it comes from, so back in the late 80s, black metal started to become a thing in the Scandinavian countries. And one of the bands, Mayhem in particular, so death metal was really popular in America back then. And they really didn't like the image of death metal in America because there was people like hanging out on the beaches in Florida wearing shorts and sandals. And they would make fun of them and saying that they're posers and they're not cult enough. And it just kind of came from there. Honestly, it's kind of a joke, to be real. Like, it used to be used as a word to make fun of posers, but we just kind of stole it. And we're like, it's fuck it. We're just gonna make a joke of it.
Yeah, we took it and we trademarked it. So,
I love it. It's taking it and that makes it fucking punk rock. To be honest with you, a little bit. Take their turn, and fuck you with it.
Yeah, we've actually had people argue with us and get mad at us for trademarking cult online.
Yeah,
haters are gonna hate. Fuck them.
It was really entertaining.
I would imagine so. I mean, I'm sure they had some rather choice things to say to you guys, and it probably didn't really have a leg to stand on as far as to why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's just. I hear a lot of butt hurt coming over from over there. So you know what? You're just mad because you didn't think of it first. That's all I ever do. And
pretty much. You're doing something cool. I'm not doing anything cool. So I'm gonna be mad about something.
Yeah, it's like the biggest pastime on the internet, being mad for no fucking reason other than something you didn't agree with. That is keeping your fucking mouth closed. You just have to go chime up, offer up the opinion nobody asked for. So, how long you guys been open there at Cult Mead?
We are coming up on a 3-year anniversary in March 2022.
3 years in March of 2022.
But not in the same space. We've moved once. We grew during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I did see that you guys had moved during COVID and everything. So, and the new place is, I'm assuming, going well for you guys?
We're paying our rent. We did get a lot of overhead because the space that we're in right now is rather large.
Sure.
But we knew we needed it to grow. We knew we needed it for production. Honestly, COVID, we had this tiny. It was like 1,000 square feet for production and our tap room, and we had this tiny spot. But it was good because it gave Brian a chance to cut his teeth on commercial mead making and start scaling up. But when he was running out of room and every other day is like, fuck, like he can't get around. He's all mad and mead's everywhere. And then when COVID restrictions happened, we couldn't have anybody in our tap room because of the size of our tap room.
Oh, shit.
And that was really prohibitive for us as a young business to get people in and trying our meads. And so we did I filled out so much paperwork over COVID to try and get money and try and get things. But at the very beginning, no one was offering any grants or any assistance whatsoever. And the only thing I could get from the city was a parklet space, which means they gave us some rails, and in the parking spot in front of our business, let us set it up in the parking spot and put some tables and chairs outside.
Damn. And all you heard about was like, oh, we got all this money for small businesses. We're trying out there to make sure people don't go out of business, paycheck protection, this bullshit. And you guys are out there doing everything the right way, trying to get some of that money, and they got nothing for you.
We didn't get a damn thing from anyone until like 8 months later.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to get it, but I mean, it kind of becomes a moot point at that point. It's like we already figured it the fuck out.
When we needed it. We did not have it when we needed it, so we flexed instead. And so, fortunately, you know, having production and some of the laws that we have in this state, it enabled us. We started doing online deliveries.
Okay.
And yours truly drove all over the South Sound of Washington, delivering bottles of mead to people's doorsteps. So we did if you buy 2 bottles, you get free delivery within a certain range. And different days of the week, I would go to different parts. So I had an Olympia day, I had a Key Peninsula day, I had a Seattle day, an East County day. And in one day, I'd take bags of mead up and drop them off on everybody's doorstep.
Damn. And you're sitting there probably with a full car some days just trying to sort it out like some sort of Uber driver, basically.
Oh, no, I'm good at this shit, so we're fine. I'm pretty organized. And I'm really good at driving, so.
Nice.
I learned about this whole area, though. I can drive through Seattle like a champ now because of all those deliveries, so.
So would you guys say that, is it safe to say that you guys wouldn't have survived if you hadn't gone through that online delivery?
Nope.
Damn.
We wouldn't have. And then I quit my engineering job, and that freed up some money.
Quitting a job frees up money?
Yeah, when you cash out your retirement early.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's hard to hear, but hey, that's you know, showing that you believe in your passion project and everything like that. So, you know, do what you got to do to make it survive. And,
yeah, I mean, I'm never gonna retire anyway. I don't stop working, so it's just whatever. It was better put in my business than sitting on it for 20 years. So
retirement, that's for baby boomers. We don't do that.
Yeah, no shit. Must be nice.
Right? So as you're out delivering all that mead around the, you know, the greater Puget Sound area, what's the favorite mead of the cult?
Oh,
there's no favorite.
It depends who you talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all sell pretty equally as well. That's good news. I mean, you don't have one that's just lagging behind. They're like, I can't.
Well, actually, you know, I think we do have a favorite. We have a mead called Crimson Towers. It's a raspberry habanero mead, and everyone goes freaking apeshit for it.
Got you. That sounds freaking amazing. Raspberry habanero?
Yeah.
Is it habanero flavor, or is it just got the heat from the habanero? Habanero is not my favorite. It tends to...
It's got both. You get it all. So habanero is a fun pepper because it's very fruity instead of being vegetable, and so you get all the fruity characteristics from it on the nose. And as far as spice wise, it's just a little bit. It's not overwhelming, and the mead is just like kind of in the back of the throat kind of thing, just a little bit of heat. But with the raspberry and the clover honey that we use, it's phenomenal. People love it.
I'm dying to try that. I may have even tried it when I was there, and I might have spilled a whole glass of it all over your floor.
Perhaps.
Oh, you guys are great.
This is why you need a meadery dog.
Oh, man. So what was the first mead that you ever tried that inspired you to start the mead venture in your life?
Honestly, it was a homebrew mead. It wasn't a commercial mead. The first mead I ever had was pretty typical. It was the Danks Mead, from Denmark. Mm-hmm. You know, the first time I tried that was like 15 plus years ago, and I was like, okay, cool. I guess I'm a Viking now or something. it was all right. You know, it wasn't my favorite, but I used to be part of a homebrew club making beer and everything, and we had a few people who made mead. They'd bring the mead to our meetings, and it was fucking good. It was really good. Blew me away.
Come on, pump that old beer group that you were in. Give them a
it was Austin, Texas. They're called the Austin. What are they called? The Zealots.
Yeah.
The Austin
Zealots. Yeah, they're a great homebrew club in Texas. They win awards every freaking year.
Nice. And from there, that's where you met your first meads, so to speak, that were homebrew meads.
Pretty much, yeah. That was about 6 to 8 years ago. And I just got hooked on that. There were a couple of people from that group that started their own meadery in Austin, nice. and they focus on session meads, so light bubbly, canned session meads, and they ended up doing really well. I think I've seen you do an interview or a tasting with them. It was Meridian Hive.
I was gonna say it's got to be Meridian Hive. They're the only cats I can think of in there. Yeah, some of their stuff I liked. A couple of the other ones I didn't care for so much, but I from what I understand, they used to do, or at least at one time did still meads.
They did.
They still do.
They're dying to try some of their still meads as well.
They still do still meads, but just given their demographic where they're at, it just makes sense for them to do the cold carbonated stuff because
definitely down there in Texas.
Yeah,
the stuff sells really well here.
I'd also like to say those guys are really cool. We took a business trip to Austin, and we hung out with those guys, and they really did give us some really poignant pointers on running businesses, and pretty much told us about the scale of economies for hydromels. Like, you got to go big, or you're not going to really succeed with them financially. So that was really cool to hear them talk about that with us. And then I got pulled aside and talked about the importance of branding. And so he showed me their old branding bottle, which was terrible with a Viking on it and looks, however it looked, and weird honeycomb thing. And he's like, yes. And then we switched to this. And so he really impressed upon the both of us that when we came out with Cult, we needed to make sure that we had very strong branding out of the starting gate. And that's one of the best pieces of advice that we've gotten.
Yeah, you guys have a dope logo. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Our graphic designer hated us because we were so fucking picky about that graphic. It took us weeks and many months.
It took us about 6 months. He thought he was going to be banging this out in about 3 weeks. It took like 6 months. So actually, I want to point that out too. With our logo, the jagged letter. I don't know if you can see that very well. The K itself, those are actually bee stingers.
Oh.
If you look up Google Images and search for honeybee stingers and get a super zoomed in picture of one, that's exactly what they look like.
Right, they've got that serrated barb on it.
Yeah. So the K is made of bee stingers.
That was my idea.
Hey, that's clever as fuck, man. I totally dig the logo. It's minimalistic, but it gets a point across. It's clean. It's very concise in its message. It's very you got to between you as design and the graphic designer. I think you mission accomplished it in a solid branding.
We agree. It's wonderful. And our graphic designer, his name was Jeremy Salvo, and he works out of Seattle. He did a fantastic job. I was really. It was great working with him. He was a consummate professional, and he's given us something that we can carry with us through this entirety of our business. So,
yeah, definitely. And it's like you were saying, with the cats over there at Meridian Hive, they had to go through a rebranding, or chose to go through a rebranding, and that couldn't have been cheap. You've got all that time and energy and everything.
You got to redo all your artwork, all your signage, you got to redo everything. That's not cheap.
And it's not cheap because you're going to potentially lose some of your customer base because people are so eyeball driven to what they were looking for. They're not even going to maybe even take the time to read the logo. Oh, hey, that is my favorite mead. They didn't go away. They just changed their logo.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a dangerous and risky move, but it seems to have paid off for them. They got some pretty wide and serious distribution, have a great product lineup going for them, and I mean, I would have to say, as far as like distribution wise, they have to be up there with like Schramm's and Superstition, if not, at least in the United States, a little farther distributed. What's up, brother?
Oh, hey, what's up, Brian? It's Brian Victor.
Oh, hey.
Well, I'm definitely expecting some people to show up on there. That's freaking awesome. I'm loving it. So then you go with the homebrew, you meet up with the homebrew club and you try the meads, everything. So then when do you start homebrewing your own mead? There, you said it was about 8 years ago.
God, I think it's going on 4 years. Is that right?
4 years.
Yeah. I made my first mead 4 years ago, December 25th.
So Brian jumped in the fire.
Yeah.
He homebrewed for about a year, and then.
Well, no, like I homebrewed beer for about a year.
The beer.
That didn't go very far. It was good enough for me. I liked it, but I wouldn't have never tried to open a brewery in this environment. And then I started making mead. Like I said, it was about 4 years ago to the date, December 25th. And 2 months after I made my first mead, I started Cult Mead. I applied for a license. I was like, fuck it, I love that. I'm going to do this. I'll make it happen.
You know, and I've heard that from a couple different people now that they, you know, within a very short period of time, less than a year, they decide from home brewing to commercial applications and everything like that. I think that's an incredibly bold move, and I admire your courage there, my man. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was almost 1 year to the date that I made my first homebrew mead to making my first commercial mead.
Man, that's
because you got to get all your licenses and all that stuff figured out before you can make, and that's about an 8-month process. At least back then it was.
Sure.
It took about 9 months or so to get our license and everything. Once I finally got it, it was December of the next year that I made my first commercial mead, which was only 200 liters.
Well, what's very unfortunate too is
about 50 gallons. Sorry.
I was gonna say that's about 60 gallons.
Yeah.
To get all that licensing, you have to have your facility first.
Yeah.
And so in some cases, you have to pay that overhead while you wait and wait and wait and wait and wait some more, which we did and we had to. So in the meantime, we were waiting for all of that. We were just doing decor and hanging out. And whatever.
Yeah. And see, that's one of the things I always notice that the meadery owners have to juggle with. Do you choose an existing facility and pay rent on it and all this stuff, and then find somewhere that's got zoned and all this stuff, or go out and pick somewhere and then build it up? I mean, you're gonna have way more cost, but then you get to design it the way you want. I mean, that's a big dichotomy to have to choose from there. So, what made you guys choose go with picking a prefab spot?
That was a big budget issue. We're not rich people. We don't have trust funds. We don't have millions of dollars behind us. We don't have a mom and dad being like, oh, here, have some money. We sold this house. Go ahead and start your own business.
Yeah, we're a DIY fuck.
So we found a place that used to be a salon, and it had all of the sinks and everything already in there. And so installing commercial sinks, we didn't need permits because the sinks were already there.
Nice.
And so that's the space we used. And the overhead was really cheap. We didn't spend a lot of money on it. We started small and we worked with what we had. Brian was working as an engineer. I was working as an engineer, and we were using our money out of pocket to pay our overhead while we waited. So, that's what we did.
Yep. Man.
There was no big deposit. There was no, $250,000 of whatever the hell you do with these places.
Equipment. Oh man, our equipment was so little back then compared to what we have now. Like we have, we just kind of, we just took the philosophy of, I got this from my uncle. My uncle is a part of that Austin Zealots I was telling you about. He was the president of it for like 20 years, and he kind of ingrained in me, like, start small and grow big.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. Started really small. Like I said, our first batch was only 50 gallons. I'm doing 500-gallon batches like regularly now, and we just grew from that. Just every penny that we made.
Every time we get money, business, back into production, back into bigger fermenters,
put it back into production.
More honey.
Well, do you guys feel like it's paying off now? I mean, do you feel like you're developing a cult following? Sorry, I'll see myself out.
I love it. Yes. I'm down.
But do you guys see a lot of repeat customers? Do you feel like, I want to get into the metal venue part, but you're seeing a lot of the same people showing up, and you see a lot of, like I said, repeat customers and traffic and stuff?
We do have a really good following of people who consistently come out here, constantly talking us up and, sharing our stuff on social media and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it's going really well. Like, it's cool.
That's awesome. So, like I said, you guys, one of the things that drew me to you is your diversity. So what made you, when you went from your first venue to your current place, is when you decided to add in the metal show, or were you guys doing metal venues and stuff over at the other place?
We didn't. And so, interestingly enough, Brian and I are both musicians. Go fucking figure. We both played in metal bands. When we started this, neither of us were playing in bands because other stuff was going on. But I have wanted to own a venue since I was 19. And so looking at how well the meadery was doing and how we had already, like, our business plan incorporated Cult as being a destination location. Actually, opening a venue is part of our 5-year business plan. We sat down and really thought, like, it's written out very clearly, you know, it's like we want to target this market by doing these things. And we've actually pretty much met most of those goals, maybe not perfectly, but enough within the framework to be good. We jumped on the space a little bit early, but it's because COVID forced us to do it. It was cold. Our customers had nowhere to sit. We were running out of production space. The landlords were being shady, and they were only giving us 1-year lease at a time. And I'm like, we need more stability than that. We need like 5 to 10 years. Like, I cannot do a year on lease with you guys. And because they were so unwilling to negotiate with us the way that I needed to, we just started looking for spaces. Even before COVID, I'm the civil engineer, so I was out beating feet, looking at real estate, looking at the plumbing, trying to wheel and deal with business owners, and the building owners. And I'll be honest with you, we got bullshitted a lot, and I don't deal well with being bullshitted. I am a consummate businesswoman, and I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. And you know, if you're going to promise me something and you don't show, we're walking away. And that's exactly what we did for a number of spaces. And then out of the blue, this one just came up. We had a friend who got his real estate license, and he works in the beer industry. He used to own Edison City Ale House here in Tacoma. His name's Andrew Babcock. He did a wonderful job, and he interfaced and got us a meeting for this spot. And the minute that I walked in, and Brian and I both walked in, and we looked up, the ceilings have these giant laminated beams, and it's all wood, and there's not a single column in this entire place.
Yeah, I remember it was very open concept, and it reminded me of like a machine shop or something, like in its previous life.
All kinds of stuff was in here. Yeah. The landlord was just like, you know, I just don't want another car place in here. That's what he said to us. And so I got a little worried, though, because the next guy who came in after us, when we looked at it, had a wad of cash like this thick in his hand, and he was like flashing it, and I was like, man, I don't know if we're gonna get this place. But turns out that guy was trying to do metal recycling, and he wasn't going to be able to get a permit for that, I'm sure. No
kidding. So you had the vision of having a metal venue, or having just a venue in general. It comes to fruition now. You guys get the place. You guys signs the deal, and so how does it go from there? You start booking places, or you guys are both musicians, so I'm assuming you have friends that are, you know,
that's pretty much our life. The reason why we're a metal meadery is because Brian and I are lifelong metalheads. It's our community. It's, you know, just like you have the people who do, Viking reenactment things, and that's their heritage, and that's what they've done. This is our thing. We've been doing this kind of stuff since we were teenagers. We've been part of this community, immersed in the music. And so very naturally, if you're going to spend every day of the week in a place, it better be a place you like. And so this is like our Mead clubhouse.
Yep.
I mean, we're even strict on the music. If someone plays something I don't like, I will run out and yell at people. It actually, in our employee contract, it says you will not argue with the ownership about the selection of music or its grounds for immediate termination.
Damn.
So, we're serious about this.
Yeah, no shit. Hey, but you know what? I love it, though. I mean, if you're not going to take yourself seriously, nobody else is going to take you guys seriously. You know, and it comes off, I guess, kind of, you know, tongue in cheek, maybe in the employment agreement, but it still is a serious thing. It's like, look, this is our place. This is our life. You're not going to respect us. You got to go. In the store.
Yep. And I'm really good at being like, get the fuck out. Actually, I just say that to my regulars because it's funny. I have yet to actually have kicked somebody out of here, but I'm menacing enough, and I'm short and angry enough, and I have things that, like, you know, pry bars and other sticks and stuff that I can treat people with if I need to. So, but you know, the music and the mead together, when you're involved in crafts and when you're involved with artistry, there's a level of excellence that people should strive for, right? And so when you're making mead, Brian strives for excellence in his mead making. He's a consummate mead maker. Everything's really clean. The ingredients are really good, and we don't ever cut corners on anything. Even if it means we're not making as much profit, it's very important to us to have a quality product. And it goes the same with the music. And so we have that same ethos with the music that we have here. So the bands that play here, they're not bands that are getting started that don't know how to do this already. We only have bands that are polished and experienced come and play our venue. Anybody else, I send them packing somewhere else.
Gotcha. You're not trying to be Roadhouse. You're trying to be a legit establishment. I mean, you're working with like tour managers and you're working with legit people. You're not trying to, like you said, you're not just a amateur night.
No, this is not amateur night.
Right.
And I don't have the patience for amateur night.
Thanks, Paul.
You guys are talking about your quality products and your high quality sounds and everything like that. I've been dying since I left your guys' place to open this bottle.
I'm excited to see what you think about that one.
Yeah, this is for anybody who doesn't know. I did a little video earlier as well, and I was talking about this as well. So this is I picked up. This is the Tentacles of Terror Bochet. So I'm assuming it doesn't say in the description, but I'm assuming the honey was Bochet.
Yeah, that's correct. So what I did is, this is not a traditional Bochet by any means.
Okay.
I typically don't do anything traditional. The Bochet aspect of this one, if people are familiar with back sweetening, Sorry, I was just reading a comment. If people are familiar with back sweetening is to once the fermentation is complete, you stabilize it and you add honey to it to increase the sweetness level. So what I did with this one is I Bochet the honey used to back sweeten it. I did not Bochet the honey to ferment it.
Gotcha. Okay. So, and then this is, the flavor profile is blackberry with vanilla aged on American oak. Was that new oak or was that staves or in a barrel?
Staves.
Okay.
Yeah. We use staves for the majority of our oak aged meads. We're starting to acquire some barrels, and we started a barrel program. We have yet to release anything from the barrel program yet, but it's guaranteed to be good.
I like that. Oak comes through really nicely. It has this like very toasty type of aroma right off the bat. There's some earthiness in there. I like the I like that. It's very not warming like alcohol, but it's like very warming like outside on a warm summer day type of warm. It's like a blend of the oak and the berries. And I'm still getting used to this. I mean, I'm going up to Mazer Cup in next week, and hopefully I'll pass my judging. Well, that's where I'll be doing my BJCP judging testing.
Oh, yeah, good job.
Nice.
I'd like to get that at some point. But
hey, we're gonna have a little bit with you.
Oh, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I even get yes. I'm doing it.
Say this one before you get too harsh on it. This one is 16%.
Oh, I love it. And well, hey, to be fair, before I even say anything, this was transported down in a potentially compromised manner, so I can't even guarantee the integrity of this bottle. So I would feel not even fair to judge it harshly. But I'm dying to try it. So, cheers, skull.
Cheers, skull.
That's good.
That is very good.
I haven't had this in a while. Yep, that's good.
I freaking love this.
All right, see y'all later. We don't have much of this left. It's a rare gem, so.
I'm super happy to.
Can I tell you a little bit about this mead, though? I really have to mention it. So it's named Tentacles of Terror. The reason why it's named Tentacles of Terror is because this yard that we had out here, when we moved into this meadery, it was all blackberries. And there were vines of blackberries that were 20 feet long. And I cut this all down and pulled it all out of the yard by hand. I removed like hundreds of blackberry crowns out of the soil with a shovel, on my own. Like, it was a lot of labor because you got to do that with those things. You never get rid of them. So when I was back there, I'm like, these things are monstrous. They're like tentacles of terror. There's a band in Seattle, an amazing death metal band called Zoth, who has a song called Tentacles of Terror, and we decided that we wanted to do a collaboration with them for this mead. And so that's how it came about. And when we had the mead release, I believe he wasn't here for them
because it was May 1st. Yeah, okay. There he goes off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had them come out and play a show at the meadery.
And so that's what we do with these bottle things is when we do collab, they come play the show, we release the bottle, and this artwork, it's blackberries, a blackberry like invasion exploding into Mount Rainier. So it has our local mountain on it. With like the blackberry, the aliens are injecting it with stuff and it's blowing blackberry creatures, and there's hikers torn to pieces with blackberries coming out of their crevices and stuff. It's freaking pretty amazing art. So
yeah, shout out to Eric Duffy of Gore Metal Art. He does a lot of our label artwork, and he did this one.
Nice. No, I'm a huge fan of this. I love it. The blackberry flavor comes through so pure and clean. It doesn't taste, it tastes, again, like a nice summer ripened blackberry. It doesn't taste artificial. Like, I mean, whether you use concentrate or juice or whatever, I mean, it doesn't taste like that. You've achieved the taste of like a real blackberry. I get a slight bit of like caramel and vanilla there at the end. I'm sure the oak and all that stuff all kind of helps add to that complexity. Can't really pick any one of them out, I wouldn't think, from one another. But altogether, it plays very well. It's like, again, like you took a blackberry and drizzled a little like vanilla syrup or something on there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we use the blackberry honey too, and blackberry honey is very earthy.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and as far as the blackberry flavor, we use whole frozen blackberries. Like, we don't use syrups.
There's no purees,
like
no syrups. It's fruit.
This is whole fruit.
And that's the way we do it with fruit. It's pain in the ass and it's really messy, and Brian hates it, and he takes buckets and buckets and buckets of berries out of this meadery.
Right.
But it's worth it. The end product is so worth it.
Oh, absolutely. This is phenomenal. And my favorite thing about this one is the personalized "fuck you, TK." The most I'm saving this. I'm throwing it up in the collection. I mean, I want to get it like if I could laminate a bottle and save it forever. That's freaking awesome. But no, this is.
So just as I know, you don't have to save the bottle. That label will peel right off, and you can put it in a sticker album. It's great. We use Sticker Giant for our stickers, and their labels come off really easily. So if people if homebrewers want to reuse bottles or people want to collect the stickers, they can just peel them right off.
Stickers they peel right off.
Like, it's so easy.
It's pretty amazing.
Sometimes when we fuck up the bottles and we're making them, we have to like peel them off and stick them back on again. But they're really easy to peel off. Of course, this one isn't because it's like a year old.
Yeah.
But
peeling right off.
Cool.
But yeah, it doesn't leave like that residue or anything like a lot of labels do. So it's pretty cool. Like, we have a lot of customers who they have their wine fridges are covered in our labels.
Sticker, so it's kind of neat.
Then that's where I've got mine started. So I'm gonna throw this one on there, and I'll have to throw a piece of like packing tape over it or something so it doesn't sully the good signature on there. But no, this is I'm a huge fan of your guys' products, man. I'm a big thing. So see, that came off, didn't compromise the integrity of the label or anything.
No, and see, so these are made so that they won't bleed in water. So when you're chilling them or whatever, it's not a paper label, it's a thermoplastic of some sort or whatever. But it's great. These are wonderful labels, and we can stick them to everything.
Now, is this lightly carbonated, or is it just a little bit of bottle carbonation left, or a little bit, not carbonation, but like just a little bit of?
So if you're tasting any kind of this is something a friend of mine told me, if you're tasting any kind of like bubbly sensation, especially on the roof of your mouth, sometimes that comes from the sulfites.
Oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love it.
It's definitely not carbonated, and it should not. If it re-fermented in the bottle, the cork would have blew off.
Oh yeah, no, definitely doesn't taste like it tastes wonderful. It doesn't taste like it's re-fermented or anything.
And I recommend a lot of times with our meads, especially if you're getting that little bubbly sensation, just let it open up a little bit like you would a red wine.
Right.
Swirl it around in your glass and just let it breathe, and that sensation and everything will go away, and it'll be a more delightful as well.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm noticing too is if you really want to get the full character from it, you gotta have these things at closer to room temperature than not. Lightly, just a little.
Oh yeah.
I agree. I'd say like 65 to 75 degrees. It really allows the honey to shine more at that range, and the fruit comes out too.
We call it ambient Pacific Northwest room temperature.
Yeah.
66 degrees. Exactly. No, so yeah, I'm definitely loving this. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the other community stuff you guys do. So you guys do, I believe it's called "Fuck You Bingo."
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah bingo. Sorry.
Fuck yeah bingo. Yeah.
Not fuck you bingo, but fuck yeah bingo.
Fuck yeah bingo.
It's basically bingo with a comedy show.
It is just a comedy show with bingo on the side.
Yeah.
So we've got two comedians that are up there. They're doing the balls, and one guy's like this, and there's so many jokes, and there's lots of. I'm just trying to say, there's lots of inappropriate adult humor that goes on throughout the night. We're talking about bussies and all kinds of stuff, and. You laugh. I laughed so hard. And then they do the bingo in between. They give really shitty prizes. But
my favorite was a couple of weeks ago, the winner got a hemorrhoid pillow.
The donut pillow?
Yeah.
I won a box set of Emily Bronte's best of hits.
Emily Bronte.
Classic lit. I like a box set of classic literature, like the most boring shit you'll ever read in lit.
Wuthering Heights, yes, that's what we
need. All that, yep, all the way.
God damn, that's hilarious. So is the bingo part of it, like, was that their idea? Is that like part of their bit, their comedy routine?
Yeah, that's just what they travel to us, and that's their shtick. But what's lovely is we don't charge for admission for this event. So you essentially get like a 2-hour free fucking comedy show.
No shit.
You play some bingo, you might win a prize, and you just buy drinks,
Right.
That's fun.
That's a great business model, I think. I mean, how many places are you going to get a comedy show without a cover charge or a drink minimum on top of the cover charge? And here you guys are offering the whole thing. Just come in and drink our mead and have a good time and hang out. You guys obviously are very passionate about your guys'. You guys probably live there most of the time, I'm assuming.
Pretty much. See this couch behind here? Many naps have been taken on this.
Or something, but yeah, you got the couch there, kick back on. That's freaking awesome. And you guys also do drag shows as well, right?
Mm-hmm. And burlesques and belly dancing and.
Oh man, the metal belly dancing, that was phenomenal. The first time we did that was October 1st. This month, and that was just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, anybody watching this needs to go check that out back on their social media. Follow them on Instagram here, obviously over on Facebook. But that was a very cool experience over there.
What's up, John?
And then, so how do you guys pair up belly dancing with metal?
Very carefully.
Solid. I like that answer.
I mean, it's dancing. Metal has groove to it. It's all good. We're hoping to have wrestling next year.
Oh yeah.
What's the name of the group? Oh my god, I'm having a break.
I cannot recall right now, but yeah.
Max, I'm so sorry.
But like a ringed wrestling thing where they come in and jump off the ropes and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Without
a cause. Yeah.
Without a cause wrestling out of Bremerton.
Okay.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere north of here.
Yeah, and the far northern realms of which we don't really venture to very often because we're always here.
Yeah.
So, our friend. Oh, thank you, John.
Oh, John.
Oh, so there you are his heroes. So yeah, man, that's awesome. Look at that, you're inspiring people to give them an awesome place to hang out, support local scene, and that's one of the other things. Not just supportive of having a place for the community to come and hang out and drink and have merriment, but you guys also host something called Market of the Beast.
Yeah, it's good old commerce. My friend Heather Loop and her business partner, whose name I don't remember, and I'm so sorry, they work together and they do this market called Market of the Beast. It's a very specifically curated market that they bring to Seattle, Portland, and different places. It's a lot of hard work. Artists do submissions, they select the artists, and then they get the tables. And so our space fills up with all of this wonderful crafting and art and T-shirts and stickers and candles, and all the makers come in. Mm-hmm. And man, mead makers are makers. We're makers. They're makers. We share communion with each other, and we help stimulate each other's economies and keep our money in our community.
That's awesome. And is it not necessarily metal themed stuff, but it's all just craft people.
It's all handcrafted items.
Yeah, handcrafted, creepy crafts.
Yeah.
Dark themed.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have one coming up this weekend on Sunday. The 24th.
Yeah.
From noon to 6. We expect I believe about 40 vendors to be here.
Very cool. Did you guys have any food vendors, like any food trucks or anything show up?
I don't think we have one scheduled right now,
not this
unfortunately.
It's an opportunity for somebody out there. You got a food truck, go hit them up. 40 other vendors, man.
Yeah, we're looking for a food truck. When we have events like this, you're going to make a killing. I mean, this is like 1,000 people walking through the door, coming and leaving. So that's like 1,000 people leaving with a hot dog or something.
Yep.
So, and we have a space. We have actual a parking lot and a gravel parking area outside, so you don't need to get any special permits from the city to park your vehicle. You can just come here and park your load and sell delicious foods.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely nice when you don't have to get the city involved in all that bullshit. You just park right here, open your doors, and start hustling and making money, and everybody wins.
Yep.
Yeah. Fuck bureaucracy.
No shit. Look, I used to work for the city of Tacoma.
Well, hey, there's a place and time for everything, but red takes.
Oh no, but that's why I understand what a pain in the dick it is to get. I was arguing with a sign person for painting a sign outside, and she's interpreting something a totally wrong way, and I'm trying to fight her over it, and it was just like, it's just a fucking sign, man. It's a painted sign on a building in the trashiest part of town. You got cars with no fucking wheels on them, on blocks, on the side of the street, haven't moved for like a year, and you're worried about my fucking painted sign. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, it really shows where their loyalties lie, so to speak. We all
painted that yesterday, and they wouldn't have given a shit. No one would even know.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the worst part of it. It's again, fuck bureaucracy.
Let's overthrow the government. Oh wait, did I just say that publicly?
Whoops.
This is not a meeting place for revolutionaries at all.
Here, have some more mead.
I love it. Pay no attention to the FBI van outside. Flowers by Irene, right? So you got all the community support going on. You got all the the shows and the stuff that you do there at the venue and everything like that. Have you guys done any collabs with any other meaderies yet? Like a mead collab? I love the band collab. That's freaking awesome. How about any like mead collabs?
We haven't done a mead collaboration yet, but there is discussions happening between myself and Jeremy from Elephant. He's up in him and his wife are up in Whidbey Island.
Michelle,
yeah, sorry. They make fantastic mead. We're talking about doing a traditional bochet together.
Ooh, yeah. When I was up there in Washington, I visited their spot up there and scoped it out, and he gave me a little tour around there and everything. And yeah, they got some phenomenal stuff. If you guys got together, I mean, I'd be first in line to try to get that. Hopefully, they sell it because I know that they sell online. You guys don't sell online yet, unfortunately, do you?
Yeah, we do. We do through Vino Shipper.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are through Vino Shipper. Okay.
We just didn't have product for the longest time. We've been
Yeah. Inventory's been a problem for about 6 months now. We're finally, our production has picked up so much recently that we're getting over that hump.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, so yeah, definitely. If you're out there watching this and you're not in the Tacoma area, scope them out on Vino Shipper, because you might not be able to get a Tentacles of Terror right now, but I'll tell you, when it does come back around, you're gonna want to scoop up one of these because this is phenomenal. I am really digging this, man.
Thank you. Also, I'd like to say real quick, we have our mead club coming up in a couple of weeks. It's $50. You get 2 bottles of mead. It's every quarter. The next quarter starts November 1st.
Okay.
And you get 2 bottles. One is a brand new mead I've never made before.
Every time?
Yep.
Dang. You guys have spots open for this, or are you just bragging about your really cool mead club?
There's spots open for it.
Do it.
Oh, hey,
next mead is going to be delightful. Mm-hmm. It's a blackberry mead, right?
Yeah, the next mead for November, it's on the drier side. It's a blackberry mead with lemon drop hops.
Mm-hmm. This is on the drier side too. I'd say semi-sweet.
Yeah.
The residual sugar on that is pretty high, though.
It's the tannins and the tartness and the acidity. It's
super tannic.
It's really interesting. You can go by your actual, sugar, your scales or your bricks, but it's all, at the end of the day, it's what you taste.
Yeah.
Unless you're diabetic, and then it matters. But
I would much rather have something like this than the big old berry bombs. I've checked out a couple of Schramm's ones, and Schramm's, you can't slam a Schramm's. There's nothing technically wrong with it. That is a quality fucking product, head to start to finish. But again, the thing, like I've said in the past, for them specifically, is to me, it's kind of like a one-trick pony. Now, it does that trick really well. It is the best trick it could do for days, and it does it at the pinnacle of the pinnacle of its caliber. But at the same time, to me, it's just what else you got? This is something it has a lot of different character to it. It has ups and downs, and it takes you on the journey that it takes you on when you're tasting it is really cool. I dig it a lot. So, I'm excited to see what else you guys can do. And I'm serious. I'm looking for a mead club to join right now. I got out of one, and I need to get into one. So I think the Colt Mead Club might be the thing for me.
Oh, we have one in February that's going to be. Ooh. Okay, so. Only for you guys who are watching now, all right? Meadow foam honey, candy cap mushrooms, and smoked peaches.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Now I'm looking at a mead that a buddy has that has some candy cap mushrooms, and I'm not sure I've had those yet. What made you go with that? That sounds so good. Candy cap mushroom and peaches.
So this man walked into our meadery, and he looked like he just roamed out of the forest, and his eyes were all big. And he looked like...
I want to say real quick, you ever seen The Hobbit?
Yeah.
And what's the brown wizard?
Ragamash?
Yeah. He looked like him.
And so he walks in, and I'm like, I've got this cryptid man sitting at my table, and he smells like maple syrup. And I was like... you smell like maple syrup. I was standing 10 feet away from him. I'm like, you smell like maple syrup. And he's like, oh, that's because I just foraged these candy cap mushrooms. And he picked them up and he put them on the counter.
Like a big ass container of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ziploc bags.
Yeah. And he's like, smell them. We smelled them. We're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So we had actually tried a candy cap mushroom mead from Lost Cause in San Diego.
Yes.
And they did one. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think it was with Meadow Foam too.
It was for their coveters club.
So their meads are phenomenal. And Brian actually makes his flavor profiles and what he thinks of they kind of have a brain meld of some sort going on, even though they don't know each other. Nice. We've made some similar meads without knowing we were making similar meads, but we're not darlings of the mead industry. We're just some gritty old scumbags in fucking Tacoma that nobody cares about, but that's fine.
My type of people.
But yeah, so he comes in and we smell it, and he's like, I foraged these, do you want to buy them? And we're like, fuck yeah, let's make a mead. Mm-hmm. And so then Brian and I are like, oh, what are we going to make with these?
We bought like 2 pounds of mushrooms from this guy.
200 pounds?
No,
two pounds. Oh, well, dried mushrooms like 2 pounds.
Yeah, 2 pounds
it's a
is
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I just got done. I actually just racked it. It's done from primary fermentation right now. It's at like 15.5%.
What's the aroma on that?
What's that?
What's that aroma like right now?
Well, right now it's not a whole lot. It's just meadow foam honey. That's it. So it's bone dry right now. I just racked it today. So I'll be adding the peaches, the candy cat mushrooms, and back sweetening it this week or next week.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited to try that out. That sounds phenomenal. Holy cow. Yeah,
we were getting so excited talking about the flavor combinations. Like Brian and I riff off each other, and we'll be like, well, what about this? Well, what about this? Why don't we do this? Oh, maybe we should add vanilla to tie that together. Ooh, what about this ingredient? So there was a lot of exciting back and forth that happened, but that's what we settled on. Yeah,
we got the peaches a couple of weeks ago when I went down to a cidery to get. So we make an annual sizer, which is cider, if your viewers don't know, is a mead made with apple cider.
Right.
And we make a holiday spice cider every year. And so when I went down there to the cidery to get the cider, they had a hell of a lot of peaches. So we bought all the peaches and brought them back. And one of our employees who helps with production with me spent all day smoking the peaches on was it pecan wood?
Yeah, we used pecan wood.
Yeah.
Of course, my dumbass got the logs instead of the chips because I just want to get in and out of the fucking place. And so we were back there chipping pecan logs with with a sawzall.
Hey, whatever works.
I wish I would have backstage footage of that. I bet that shit was
this is our life. We fuck everything up. Everything. Like, your shit just breaks. It explodes, and you make do with what you have, and that's the way it is.
Fucking piece of shit. Fuck you.
That's exactly the way it kind of went.
You ever seen the GIF with the guy with the chainsaw, the heavy metal doing whirlwind
banging?
Yeah.
Except add all the cuss words into it.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh my goodness. So we're coming up in about an hour. Do you guys have a little more time? I think this is going fantastic. I'd love to continue talking.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned opening up a bottling. You're starting the bottle club. Is it already going, or this is going to be the first iteration, or what's up with that?
It's the first online release. We've had a mead club since we pretty much opened.
Okay.
It helps us get like some really stable revenue every quarter that we can rely on. So it's really nice. We always know that, okay, mead club's coming this month. That means we're going to get about this much dropped. Sometimes people don't pay. We're not really strict about it, but we've got like a paper and pen list of mead club members that we charge and they come in. So in shop, there's only 50. We only do 50 in-house here. So once the 50 is done, you cannot get in until we kick somebody out.
Yeah, but the online one is completely open right now.
It is.
Totally open. There's no risk of running out of memberships.
No, there's big risk of running out of memberships. You better go right now. Hurry. Hurry.
Right this second. So do you guys have like a big bottle library as well? Of like, do you guys keep like a case or two of all your previous? Yeah. No. Everything was drank and partied away and loved, and man.
Yeah, we got a few things that
I have hidden bottles stashed all over the place because I have to hide them.
Like in the back of the toilet.
She has to hide them from me.
So, of all these long forgotten bottles and cases, what do you think is the pinnacle that you've put out so far? Or not the pinnacle, but like a favorite one. Not necessarily the best, but like, what's one that you think is like, man, I'm just really proud of this one?
Wisdom of the Wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That one was phenomenal.
What was that one? What was that flavor?
So that was another Bochet. I think that was my first Bochet I did commercially. So that one was used. I got some pink pepper blossom from Brazil. It has a slight marshmallow flavor to it. Really fluffy. light honey. Key to the Storms, yeah. Key to the Storms is great. Bochet it, cooked that for about 4 hours on like 200, 215 degrees.
Yeah.
And fermented that dry, back sweetened it a little bit. Ended up adding cardamom, orange peel.
Ooh.
Was there anything else?
Maple syrup.
Oh, that's right. Maple syrup. That's right. Yep. Maple syrup. And it was aged on French oak.
That sounds phenomenal. And
it ended up tasting like an old fashioned.
Nice. Like, had a very, like, kind of like a cherry and whiskey type of.
Oh yeah, big time. Yep. All those whiskey caramel notes that you get. That's kind of the flavors that came out of it. I was like, this tastes like a cocktail, but it's a mead. Mm-hmm. This is fantastic.
Yep. And that was another one of ours. We do so many collaborations with bands. That was a collaboration with a heavy metal band called Great Hawk from Seattle.
Nice. Yeah, that was one of the other things I wanted to keep you on and ask you about was, are you guys aware who the Brimminghorn Meadery is out of Delaware?
Oh, yeah. John Talkington.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do the same thing. They have like a metal and mead series, and they release them with bands. And I guess a couple times in the past, they've had like even like album releases in tandem with their mead stuff.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. We try to have shows and album release parties to coincide with our
mead releases,
collaboration releases. COVID has made them difficult, obviously. But we started doing it. I think we've done probably 3 or 4 already this year.
Yeah.
Where we actually had the band come out and play a show during the mead bottle release.
Ease and Nordahl with their.
Yeah, Ease and Nordahl did one. That was a spruce tip, fireweed blossom honey.
Spruce and fir tip.
And fir tip, yeah. We did one recently with Siren's Rain. They're a folk metal band. It was a sorrel inspired mead with buckwheat and orange blossom honey.
Oh.
A sorrel is a Jamaican drink made with ginger, hibiscus, allspice, and clove.
Okay.
So I used all those spices, mixed it with buckwheat and orange blossom honey, and made a off-dry mead with that.
Western or Eastern buckwheat?
Western.
All Western. We don't use Eastern buckwheat.
Yeah, Western.
We don't really get Eastern buckwheat out here. Huh?
You don't want it tasting like a manure stall?
Well, in a fine wine, taking a blend of that Eastern buckwheat could make something like this, get those barnyard notes that wine drinkers tend to covet. But yeah, no, we don't have accessibility to that out here from the local apiaries and honey brokers. So
and then we also did the one that you're drinking tonight, Tentacles of Terror. That was that came out May 1st, and Zoth came and played a show that night.
Oh, yeah. So you were mentioning that. That is. I'm glad I picked this up. Now, is that something else that you guys do? Do you guys only do the 750 bottles?
No, we're starting to do 375 ml bottles.
Oh, okay.
Just like our like I said earlier, we started a barrel age program. The barrel age mead should be coming out pretty soon. We're going to do those in 375 mils. We have a Capsamel coming out soon.
It's so good.
It's fire. And that's going to be in the smaller bottles.
I'm going to grab a bottle of that because I got to show that label.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's yeah.
No, Lost Cause, they did a Capsamel. Was it like the 9 fires or the nine tails or something like that? I guess it had like 9 different chilies or peppers or something in it. I didn't get a chance to taste it, but I heard it was absolutely just.
We did something pretty similar to that. So the one that I made is a raspberry mead. It's got cinnamon and clove in it. It's got 5 different dried chipotle peppers, and it has 3 super hot peppers in it.
Baptized by fire.
Do you guys have the same artist for all your bottles?
A lot of them. Yeah, this is an Eric Duffy Gourmetal art special. But yeah, that's a baby being dipped in some fire with the demon and all that stuff. Yeah, some weird eyeball butterfly wings and pentagrams and stuff. When we did farmer's market in a church parking lot, they wouldn't let us put those types of bottles out. Rude.
Yeah.
Rude.
You're like, no, you can't do that.
Well, I thought you guys were supposed to forgive everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, right. But that one's really fun. It's fruity, it's sweet, it's smoky and spicy.
That's good. I love it. I love a mead with a nice, like, complex structure to it. Something with a lot of shit going on. A lot of what's the term? Like, it tells a story. You know, it hits all different parts of your mouth. And
the inspiration for that was birria. You know that Mexican. It's like a beef or lamb or goat dish that's like got all the spices in it, and it's a soup, and you dip your tacos into it.
Okay, yeah.
Have you ever had I think it's birria. Yeah. Anyway, I'm hard my Spanish, but it was based on, I make it, I have a recipe for it, and I was like, this is so savory and so good, and all these peppers and the cinnamon and the cloves and stuff. Right. I was like, Brian, we got to do something with this, and so that's kind of where it came about. It's just that spice blend was phenomenal, and
man, I'm dying to try that. Yeah, sign me up for your bottle club. I'm in. Oh, yeah. So, Tony lives in Guadalajara, Mexico, so he was See, and I wanted to say something knowing he's watching, but I don't want to come off as like, hey, I'm the token white guy asking my Mexican friend to answer this question, but he came through in the clutch. Right on, Tony. Appreciate that. So what else is in the 5-year plan? I don't try to get you to give away any secrets, but I mean, what's coming down the pipeline for Cult Mead? I mean, what else you got going on?
Well, it's just on the event space side, it's just building our reputation and getting bigger bands in here. One thing that we really care about a lot is our community, and hospitality is a really big facet. It's just me and Brian in general. This is the people that we are. And so this place is an extension of the hospitality that we have. So no matter who plays, how big the band is, we always serve food. It's always a vegan option. We have
for the bands.
Yeah, upstairs, so that and we have a green room areas where they can sit and rest and eat and commune or warm up, and so we give them a space to kind of breathe before or after they play, with waters and beers and places to do their makeup and change and all this stuff. So charge their phones. So we do that, and we want to be put on the map for doing that. And hopefully, with being the caring people that we are, that reputation will spread, and that will be the reason why we have our successes, because people want to come here because they're treated right.
I would think I think that you guys are doing everything the right way. I mean, eventually you're going to be a spot where you're going to be getting I don't know if I don't remember quite how big your spot is. I mean, but would you guys want to be doing like the big quote unquote mainstream metal concerts? Would you want to be doing like the Children of Bodoms, or like, would you want to do like the music
outside? Yes, absolutely. It just depends. It really does. We got some things in our sleeves for the spring.
We have a pretty amazing show coming up in March. Our first pretty much international band is going to be playing here in March.
We have a second one coming in March. We have two.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, that's right. Fuck. Forgot about that.
We have two. We're not announcing them yet because the paperwork isn't all finished. But we have two.
Not finalized.
Two American bigger name black metal bands coming to play here in Cult in March. And so we're going to be prepping to get that all ready, and it's going to be really fantastic.
Can I talk about the mead side?
Oh yeah, mead side.
As far as the mead side of the business, one of my biggest goal for next year is to produce large batches of session mead that we can get in cans.
Okay.
I want to get session mead in cans next summer.
Awesome. Do you guys do any session stuff for draft right now? We've
been doing sessions for probably 2 years now, and it's only been on draft. People can get growlers to go or have it in their tap room, but we haven't done anything canned or bottled. And next year, it's a big goal for me to have to be able to have canned session meads and distribute those.
And then on the sales and distribution end, we're going to open up to the Oregon market on the I-5 corridor for distribution.
I got you. I was just going to ask, do you guys do any distribution there locally, or do you guys just?
We actually are the ones that pretty much opened the market, like in the beer shops for mead. We are the ones that, instead of going to the wineries and the Total Wines and the whatever, we targeted the beer crowd. Actually, that's like when you look at our business plan, we have certain target markets, and beer drinkers were one of our target markets. And so we have gotten ourselves in almost every major beer bottle shop in the Puget Sound region and opened it up so that Shrams could come in.
That's not a lie. We're pretty good friends with one of the guys locally who distributes beer, wine, and mead in the area, and he straight up told us that we open up the market for Shrams and Superstition to come to this area.
Oh, I believe it 100%. I was in the process of getting my distribution license, and about 3 or 4 weeks before my license is approved, guess who shows up on the fucking shelves? I mean, I'm already in Arizona where Superstition is king. I mean, people buy their shit hand over fist blindly. And then all of a sudden here comes Shrams on top of that. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, I feel like I'm staring down not just one, but now I got two coming at me.
So what's great for us is that because we're local and we don't have all those extra shipping costs to get the mead here, we sell these delightful 750 milliliter bottles of really well handcrafted, awesome mead for the same price as one of these from Shrams or Superstition. And so when they come on the shelves, when people are looking for value,
right? And be honest with you, guys some of your bottles are probably cheaper than some of their 375 bottles, because I know they have some 375 bottles here that are retailing like $50. 50, I was gonna say in the 54 to 57 range.
Same here.
Yeah, and I mean, again, they're good. I bought one. I bought $100 bottle of Shrams, and
Dude, Black Agnes is one of my favorite alcoholic beverages ever. I love Black Agnes. Like, that's an amazing drink. I think of it more of as like a black currant wine than I do an actual mead. I don't really taste that much honey myself, but man, that is so fucking good. So, you know, Shrams owns it. I'm glad we're on the shelves next to them, but I think we're holding our own quality wise. And we have every mead maker has their, even up here, you know, all the guys, the Aesir and the Opagard and us and Aerophant, and Artivim and, you know, Adamal and Gary Gross down there, Ethereal. We all of our meads are so different from each other's.
Absolutely.
None of our meads taste the same. You take honey, you take water, you take yeast and some fruit and shit, and you throw it all together, and what do you get? Everybody's different creativities just shining there, but everybody makes really good, solid mead. We've got a really awesome, and we have camaraderie too, which I don't know if other places have it, and it's not a camaraderie that's built by the bigger organizations. It's a camaraderie built just between us in Washington.
It's organic.
With us being big old drinking, loudmouth, laughing ass, sarcastic, you know, kind and supportive assholes.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things when I was up there. It was being like going to a place like Skull, the mead hall up in Seattle. You can taste, like you said, like you guys, Aesir, Hierophant, Contrivance, all these different places, and you can take, again, you guys are all, I mean if, as the crow flies, less than 200 miles apart, between all you guys, and it's such a different journey from, and like Mr. B's, like he's got this strawberry mead. His strawberry mead is phenomenal. I've yet to have a strawberry mead that's quite
it is great.
He's got an impeccable palate. He makes really well.
He makes awesome
really
stuff.
Really good wine.
Right. But so do you guys. You in this, and then like you said, Opagard, his stuff is on a whole nother level, and then again, Hierophant. Personally, I think those guys are. Jeremy's brain just doesn't function like most people. That guy's his mead brain is somewhere the fuck else.
No, when Jeremy and I are drunk next to each other, so I'm a fucking nerd and I like science shit, and I will sit there and Jeremy and I will fucking geek out and talk about weird ass shit for hours.
Yeah.
So I like him a lot. I like everybody a lot because also, Eric, he's a microbiologist.
He's got a PhD.
Yeah.
Gary Gross is a freaking chemical engineer. Like, you know, we're all these like weird, brainy, I don't know, miscreants. You know, we didn't quite fit in where we needed to fit in, so we make mead and get drunk.
Make booze.
And it works. I think the Pacific Northwest is definitely, if people aren't aware of that mead situation up there, they're sleeping on it, because I know everybody's focused on like the Sugar Belt right now and the North, you know, the Great Lakes area and stuff. But I mean, I think there's some phenomenal mead coming out of the Northwest, and I think it offers like a wider variety. It's not just a bunch of really heavy berry bombs. Well, being done well, are all very similar. There's a whole spectrum of stuff coming out of the Northwest that it's so much good stuff, like you're saying.
Yeah, and like I said, it's the camaraderie. Like, we all just get along so great. And I mean, John Opegard has been instrumental in helping us with some of the like Brian was like, oh shit, what the fuck? And so you call up John. I don't know what the fuck just happened here. What did happen to you? And he's helped us through a lot of like really weird things.
Yeah.
Gotcha. He's an interesting cat, John Opegard.
I'm calling him a lot less often these days. It's probably been about 6 months since I've had to reach out to John about something.
But again, it speaks to the community up there, like you're saying. You guys can reach out to each other if you need to reach out to Eric, or if you got a microbiology type question, or if you need to reach out to Jeremy for some super obscure adjunct question about mixing in botanicals or something like that. You know what I mean? You guys have that knowledge base there, that knowledge pool to pull from, and and help each other out. I think it's great. I love it. I'm super stoked, man.
Cool. It's dope.
So I started a Facebook page called the PNW Mead Homebrewers Group, and these 5%. Big time mead makers have joined the group to be a resource for our local PNW mead homebrewers. Because if you know anything about beer industry, it's the homebrewers that drove the microbrew and built the microbrews up. And so it's going to be the homebrewers of mead that build up mead and build its popularity and make the commercial meads more viable. So, and plus it's fun. Like hanging out with old ass Norwegian mead makers is amazing. We got some amazing homebrewers down here, let me tell you. This dude Alf and his dad, they make phenomenal meads. I mean, it's a pleasure to taste them. So
that's so awesome. Again, hearing about it and getting to experience it when I was up there, the Northwest, again, like being from there, I'm from Bonnie Lake, Sumner area. The Northwest is home. It'll always be home for me, and to see such greatness coming out of there, it makes my heart sing, makes my mead heart happy. Know that there's such great things coming out of there. And believe me, I will be back to get another personalized bottle, check out some cool metal shows, and just come kick it at the Cult Meadery, because that place kicks ass.
Hey, I just wanted to say real quick, I'm at 4% battery on my phone. I don't have a charger
nearby. That's the same thing. So thank you guys for being here tonight, and I would love to be able to do it again in the future.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for having us. This is really great.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Go follow Cult Mead on all their social medias, Instagram, everything. Cult Mead, check it out.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Later on, everybody. Have a good night.
See you.
There we go.